Disney and Lucasfilm are currently focused on Star Wars Episode 9, 2 live-action TV series, as well as 2 new Star Wars trilogies. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one thing that a lot of people are really interested in when it comes to this franchise is exactly what's going to come next after the Skywalker saga. Like I say, a lot of fans for the longest time have been asking for the Old Republic era to actually hit the big screen, and it looks like that we are actually going to be getting this, and it matches the reports from a couple of weeks ago about, of course, creators David Benioff and D.B. Weiss actually doing an Old Republic Star Wars trilogy. So all thanks to MTV News, they got the opportunity to speak with Kathleen Kennedy, the head of Lucasfilm and everything Star Wars, and this is what she had to say in response to MTV asking this regarding, of course, the Old Republic era for the Star Wars franchise and the entire universe. So MTV questions her this: Knights of the Old Republic, a lot of fans want to see that. Is there any development on that? Kathleen Kennedy simply states, you know what, we talk about that all the time. Yes, we are developing something to look at. Right now, I have no idea where things might fall. So Kathleen Kennedy confirms development on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. She states right here, you know, we talk about that all the time. Yes, we are developing something to look at on, of course, Knights of the Old Republic. So what's really interesting about all of this is that this also matches up with what we basically heard a couple of weeks ago. You guys may recall that we heard that the new Star Wars trilogy by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, it was a big story, everybody was talking about it, that it would be based within the Old Republic era. For those of you who are unaware about the Old Republic era, at least in Legends, it takes place thousands of years before The Phantom Menace, Episode 1. However, the approach by Disney and Lucasfilm is to make it based hundreds of years before the events of the Skywalker saga, where it would be loosely connected to the Skywalker saga and introducing some of the other characters. For example, Yoda could very well be in this Old Republic trilogy since they plan to base it hundreds of years before Episode 1, given that Yoda is in or around 900 years old by the time The Empire Strikes Back, arrives in the original trilogy. That's how old Yoda is at that point in time. So it's very possible that Yoda could very well be a featured character in this series. So what do I think about the Old Republic? I think it's fantastic. It's a great opportunity to really introduce new Jedi, new Sith Lords, new different types of Darths. There's a lot of opportunities out there, new characters to explore, especially ones that are currently in Legends / the Expanded Universe. So I think it's very ambitious of Disney and Lucasfilm for really exploring the Old Republic, right? There's a lot in store there from Legends that they can really take from and put their own spin on it. Now, the only suggestion that I do have for Disney is that I think that if they're exploring the Old Republic, they really have to keep it very similar to what hardcore fans are already used to. If Disney and Lucasfilm create it from the ground up and it's completely different than what fans remember from the video games and the cutscenes and, you know, all the different scenes that we saw attached to the trailers and all that, then I think fans are going to have a big issue if it's not too similar to what fans are all used to from years and years ago in the past. So Kathleen Kennedy, like I say, she confirmed that there is development on a Knights of the Old Republic series in the forms of movies. Mind you, this is not TV. These are actual movies that she's looking at, and that's the great thing about all of this. Now, we do know that Star Wars Episode 10, also known as Star Wars X, that's the code name as of right now, they are all planned to start shooting this December, and of course, during the first quarter of 2020, which means we could get a release in 2021, or maybe even in early 2022. And guys, I gotta say, I think that when we're looking at Star Wars as a whole, it's so great to explore the past before the events of the prequel trilogy. It really would kind of just make things a little bit more open, right? Kind of give us the opportunity to explore Darth Malgus, Darth Sion, Darth Nihilus, maybe even Darth Plagueis if they want to go that far, if they want to actually explore him as well. There's a lot of potential from really getting a whole lot more Sith Lords and Jedi and learning more about that time in the Star Wars universe. And I think that this is a perfect move by Disney and Lucasfilm and is a step in the right direction. Now, in case you guys did not know, yes, there are 2 new Star Wars trilogies coming our way. The ones by David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, the guys who are the creators of Game of Thrones on HBO. And we also have Rian Johnson returning, which honestly, guys, I'm not too excited about that after what happened with The Last Jedi and my feelings of the movie. But, you know, to each his own. If you guys like The Last Jedi and are excited for his trilogy, that's perfectly fine. But in my eyes, I'm not excited for what Rian has in store, you know, from what we have seen with The Last Jedi. But what I will say is, The Old Republic is something that I am truly looking forward to seeing. We do know that Rian Johnson is just doing something on a blank canvas that is not connected to any kind of existing Star Wars lore. So, what do you guys think about all of this? What do you think about Kathleen Kennedy's statement? What do you think about the Old Republic? Is this a right or wrong direction for the Star Wars franchise? Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to moon, we hear them moans again.